Can you tell me about yourself? Yes, my name is Shankar, and I have been in testing around 2.1 years of total experience. And I have part of most of the time, manual testing, but I have started taking up the automation task from the same company. So I have the knowledge in insurance transaction system at the project we use in our company. And this application is basically it provide you the information regarding the their insurance policies and the services on different kind of menus they are providing us. Okay, to get the customer benefit of their things, and in which it includes the terms and conditions, what are the new schemes are there. So they provide basically different kind of policies or the insurance, like vehicle insurance or life insurance or the home insurance. Coming to my roles and responsibility, like I uh, have the knowledge to preparing and creating the test cases, test plans, and the requirement document which we get from the client. Also understanding the requirement and the project functionality from different senior resources. Also involved in a manual unit testing, system testing, or we can say that the functional end-to-end regression testing. Also, I've been a part of preparing the defect tracking and reports to be sent to the customers or the client. So this kinds of tasks or the roles and responsibility I have been performing till now. Okay, can you tell me what are the types of software testing you have performed? So in our project, like it's an insurance project, so basically I have performed the unit testing. We can say that the module voice testing. Once the developer developed the one kind of module, then I have performed the unit testing. And then combining the different module, that time I have performed integration testing as well. And sometime after the some different parts of the module are integrated together, I have performed the smoke testing as well, sanity testing, or we can say that system testing as well. And end-to-end testing I have just performed to check like the entire application is work fine or not. So this kind of software testing, like I have performed till now. Okay, so can you tell me what kind of mindset you have, like as a tester? What are the things comes in your mind, like I have to perform the testing of that particular application? What are the things or the points you will note down? So as a tester, I personally believe, like first of all we need to understand the requirement documents which we given by our manager or the lead, because uh, the tester needs to be a perfect at this time only when he or she is able to understand the requirement, what clients actually needed, and how much the application is built. So that is the one comparison that definitely which comes in my mind while from the testing perspective. And also I will try to attend the maximum coverage side. Suppose I am writing the test cases, okay, and at that time I will try to maintain like coverage as well, so that I should not miss the any test cases part or the scenarios, so that it can be difficult, and in the later stage like staging or the production side, we able to find the bug. So we need to think about a different perspective, like positive negative scenarios, and so that we can cover the maximum coverage. And also I will try to divide the application, most probably, I mean, to test each of the functionality. That will also give me some good practice, we can say that, like from the tester perspective. Okay. And also I will try to find the bug, but first of all I will try to check what exactly the flow of the application, and if it is working fine, then I will try to go on the negative side and try to we can say that find a bug or the issue or anything that can be not good for the customer experiences. So that can be one thing. uh, Yeah, I mean, these are the points which is very helpful, so that any tester can use these points, so that testing should be performed in a very nice and precise manner. Can you tell me why tester are really required when the developers they can develop the code and do the testing part as well? Why tester needs? Yeah, so basically, tester are required because developer most of the time they develop the things, and they perform the unit testing. So at that time, what they do basically, they try to just check the module wise implementation what they have done. They are checking that only. So we as a tester, we have a different phases, we have a different kind of testing we basically do, right? Suppose once the unit testing is done by the developer, then we will try to take that functionality, we will also test that, but mindset is totally different. And the second thought is, once the different modules are developed, then we try to do integration testing as well, and after integration we try to perform the system testing as well. So different stages, different kind of testing is required, so that that can be done by the tester only. Because if the developer try to do the testing on these different phases, then he might be losing his time to develop the different requirement that the client given to him or her. So basically that's why tester plays a major role while performing the testing for any particular application. That's what my thought is like. uh, that differentiate the why we required actually a tester as well, and why not developers do this all alone. How you check like build is testable or not? So we have one concept called smoke testing. So basically, when the developer tries to release one particular build, at that time tester will start testing the whole application. But before that testing the whole application, he or she will try to just do the smoke testing. So in the smoke testing, what we do basically, we try to find the basic and critical functionality of the application. Okay, sometime we have to decide what are the different and the basic and complex functionality of the application, or the important, or sometime our lead or the managers are also there. If suppose we are new to the application, then they will define this thing, and we need to check like those are the things are working properly or not. If those things are working properly, then we can say that like from the QA side, like the particular build is testable. We can go ahead with the deep down testing, like end to end, or the one functionality in between, depth testing we can say that. Okay. So can you tell me, you are doing the manual testing, right? So how many test cases you are able to write in a day? Yeah, so it's depends on the like the logic, or the we can say that the complexity of the test cases. Suppose any requirement which is very complex in nature, that time it hardly takes 3 to 6 test cases per day I can write, like what I have just observed in this 2 years of experience. But also on the medium size, like the complexity or the logic level is a little bit less, so we can I mean I can write the 10 to 15 test cases per day. And if it is a small test cases are there, then that time I can write around 20 to 25 test cases per day. And how you define the complexity, medium level or the normal level? Basically based on the number of inputs, or the number of steps we require to perform that activity or that one module or the functionality. Based on that, I can say that I am defining the level of the test cases, like it is in complex or normal or in medium level. Consider a scenario. Suppose you are new to the company, and you have to test one particular functionality of the application, but you are not clear with the requirement itself. So how you deal with this situation? I mean, what you will do then? Yeah, so in this situation, like if the requirement is not clear, then like in my company we follow the agile methodology. So over there we have a scrum master and BA as well. So that time what I'm trying to do, if I'm trying to test any functionality and I'm not able to test, then like requirement is not clear, then most probably I will try to contact ping him on the Skype or Teams anywhere, and then I will try to take a quick call and discuss the requirement exactly, and sometime over the mail itself, like I will ask, and once the requirement is clear, then I will go ahead with my testing thing. So I basically reach to the BA or the Scrum Master. Can you tell me what do you mean by priority and severity, and who defined what? Yeah, so severity is basically defined by the test engineers, like assigned, and severity is something we can say that this is to say like how badly the deviation or the issue it is occurring to affecting the other module of the particular build or release. So that is something is severity, and priority is basically assigned by the developer. Like we can say that the how soon the bug has to be fixed in the main code so that it can passes the basic requirements. So that can be done by the developer side. So priority basically by the developer side, and severity on the test engineer side. Okay, so can you give me some example where you have high severity and low priority defect? Yeah, so basically, suppose you have one particular website over there, the name of that particular brand is, it is not written properly. I mean, the spelling mistake are there or the typo mistakes are there. So, from the business perspective, like the customer interaction, it would badly impact it, right? So it's a high severity, but the priority is low because we don't. I mean, the customer is not facing any issue. They are just seeing the brand value as they have not given the correct name or the spelling mistakes are there. So it is not impacting the good way in the business side, but from the functionality wise, technical side, the particular application is working fine. So the priority is low, but the severity is high. Can you tell me what is the one example of high priority and low severity? Okay, high priority and low severity. So suppose you have you are using the bank application, okay, in which one of the or the you are directly visiting the ATM, okay, to deposit or withdraw the money, right? At that time you are depositing the money, but you are not able to just suppose you are depositing the money goes properly and it is accepted. I mean the back end side it is working fine, but the front end machine it is not showing that the particular amount of money is deposited into your bank account, right? So that is something, it is a high priority because customer might get confused like what's happened, like whether my money is gone to the uh, properly in the bank or not. So that is we can consider as an example of high priority, and it's a low severity because it is working fine, but at the same time the customer not able to understand what's happening exactly. So yeah. Can you tell me the bug life cycle in general term? Like I don't want to know the definition and all. What are the things, requirement designing and all, but in general term. Okay, so basically, in suppose as a tester, if I get some bug, then what I will do, I open the defect first of all in Jira or whatever the testing tool we can use. So after the opening the defect, we basically send it to the developer, and developer first of all he or she will see like if the particular defect is really a defect or it is some misconception by the tester. So once the developer accepted, they will fix that the particular bug, and after that it will be assigned to the tester again, and once the tester start testing, he or she will start first of all doing the regression testing. Once the regression testing is done properly, if there is no issue, then we can say that that particular bug is closed, and we can say that that particular bug is free. We can able to move ahead with another issue or anything. But if suppose there is after doing the regression as well, if there is some issue again you are finding, and you are not, I mean the developer is not able to met what the requirement is exactly, then you will again send it to developer queue, and again the same process will repeat. Consider you have to execute the 100 test cases, okay, and every test case is passed, but apart from this test case you found some defect which test case is not prepared. I mean the test case is not prepared, but 100 test cases are passed, and you have found something bug which is not under the prepared section. So how you gonna report that particular bug? Okay, so it is like I have 100 test cases and all test cases are passing, but I have found the test cases, we can say that, where bug I have found which is not mentioned as a test case, right? So at that time what I will do, I will try to report this particular bug. I mean I will create the test case like how this bug will come, okay, and I will just mention or put it into a bug tracking tool, so that my test case is also generated, and whatever the bug I have found, that also based on the what are the step I have done, I will report it to the developer as an bug. How can you decide like the number of test cases is enough for a particular application or a particular module? Yeah, so this is again based on the situation. Like you are developing the test cases, and you thought like based on your thinking capability and all, whatever you know about the application, if you think like test cases are enough, then I mean there is one thing, like we can say that requirement traceability matrix. Based on that you can compare what you have written, whatever the things are mentioned in requirement traceability matrix, and based on the two things, you are gonna come to the end where you can say that like I have write the enough number of test cases. What is the difference between retesting and data driven testing? Yeah, so retesting is a part of manual process where we try to test the particular application with an entire new sets of data or the existing sets of data. So it is a manual process, and data driven testing is basically it is a part of automation testing process where suppose we have to deal with multiple sets of data, okay, for one particular test cases, and we have to do the same procedure again and again. That time we follow the data driven testing for the different new types of input which we want for the testing purpose. What is the difference between smoke testing and sanity testing? So in the smoke testing, suppose the developer develop the some part of the application, and he make it as a release or the build, then that particular build come at tester side. So that time we usually perform the smoke testing, where we just try to check like the basic and important functionality of the application is working fine or not. So that is, we can say that the build is not so matured that time. I mean that is not developed as expected based on the client requirement. And but in the sanity testing, we can say that the build is matured. Like if smoke testing, we are doing the testing at that time, the build number is, we can say that 2 3 4, that number we can say that. But at the time of sanity testing, we can say that our build is mature, and it can be more than 10 to 15 builds. That time our application is more on the what the customer exactly wants. So that time we do the sanity testing. Suppose there is a very low defect on the user interface side, and it is detected by you, and but the developer is not compromising with that defect. Like he's not able to just ignoring that particular user defect. So how you will deal with that situation? If it is any kind of bug, if I'm going to report to the developer, and if he's not trying to get that particular defect, then what I will do, I will try to write down everything what I have did to find out that particular bug. Like I will write the all the steps to reproduce that particular defect, and then I will take the screenshot as well, and I will properly document and explain the entire thing, like how we can reproduce the same bug on the other hand or the developer side as well. And based on my configuration, my system and everything, I will try to put it into that documentation. So and mail it, or maybe on the ticket itself I will mention everything, so that he or she needs to be taken care that kind of defect, either it's a low defect or high defect. It needs to be addressed, because we do this thing only. The work of the QA is this, to find out the defects and make the application more quality that the customer expected. Suppose you are writing the test cases, so who is gonna review your test cases? Do you review yourself or somebody else only? No, so basically once I have written the test cases, then it is basically a peer review. We can say that, like other tester in my team, they basically do the review part, the senior persons or sometimes the lead, or maybe the manager. It depends on the number of test cases, and what are the priorities of that particular test cases are there. In my different project, sometimes the clients also try to do the review part of it. They just look on what kind of things you have covered. They are not exactly doing line by line, but yeah, sometimes they also do the review of few test cases, the high level. Suppose there is a project which is a long term project, okay, and your requirements also keep on changing. So will it your test plan also change, or it will not change? Yes, definitely. Like if project duration is anyways, if the requirement is changing, then the test plan definitely it will change. Like designing document, the requirements, everything will get changed. So the test plan would also need to be updated, because the resource allocation is one of the part in the test plan. We would need to write the new test cases, review and execute it. So resource allocation would have to be done accordingly, so that yes, so changes in the requirement will definitely change in, we can say that, the test plan also. How do you select the test case for regression testing? Consider the point is, when there is change in code, how do you come to know which part of code or the module it will affect? Yeah, so basically, suppose consider one scenario where we have one form, and it takes the username and password, and the login button is there. Okay, and once the code change is done by the developer, and the requirement says that it should have a reset button also, right? So in the regression testing for that particular build, will include testing only the login button like it was previously, not the reset button, because the reset button, it will be the part of the next build, and it is also a part of contention testing. Okay, so the regression tester, regression testing, it should not be worried about the change in code, because we can say that, like we have to make sure that in the regression testing, whatever the functionality already added in that, it should work fine. But if the reset button will be added, that kind of regression things we will add in the next module. So that time this reset button functionality, it is a part of a regression in the next build. Can you tell me what is the testing policy and testing methodology? What is the difference between them? Yeah, so testing policy means all type of testing. Like we can say that the testing technique, that is a part of testing policy, like functional testing, sanity testing, etc. And testing methodology is means the white box and black box testing. So yeah, can you tell me the test cases for water bottle? Yeah, so the order. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know about the exact order, but yeah. So we can say that we can verify the color of water bottle, like as per the requirement is there or not. We can also verify that, like whether the bottle holding how much capacity of water, like it is again based on the client requirement, what the client is mentioned in that. We can also do that, like we can verify that the user able to pour the water in bottle easily or not. Okay, so that is also one of kind of test case. We can say that we can verify the cap fix to the bottle properly or not, right? So that is also the major, we can say that the core part of the water bottle functionality. We can also check, like we are able to hold the bottle easily or not, right? We can also check the deep level. We can say that like what kind of materials they have used. Is it a plastic bottles or steel bottle? And we also try to check, like how the bottle is behaving in a different temperature, right? So this is also one of the we can say that the requirement of the client. We can also check the weight of the bottle, right? So it is also important whether once the water is filled with the bottle, then how much weight it should have, and before empty bottle, how much the weight it should have. So that is also thing, it comes under the we can say that the test case of water bottle. We can also check, suppose I just what we can say that suppose I have filled with the cap, and just trying to reverse the bottle and just try to check, like it is having some leakage issue or not. So that is also there. And is most importantly, we will try to check, like the bottle's brand name, or anything which is required by the client, it is there or not, because that is also important. So yeah, these things, we can say that the part of water bottle, it might contain few more, but right now I can say that this much, the test cases for water bottle. Okay, great, great number of test cases you have already given. Okay, so that's all from my side. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.